Welcome to the 61st General Conference session. As you know, the General Conference was supposed to take place in 2020, but because of the pandemic, it has been delayed to 2022. We are here in the lobby of the hotel that is just across the street from where the venue of the General Conference session. So you will hear a little bit of the background noise. There are some delegates that are coming in. They are registering in the hotel for their rooms, and then after that, they walk across the street and they register at the convention center where it's going to be taking place. Again, General Conference sessions are very important sessions. For me, it's the 5th General Conference session, and for you?
This is my very first one ever.
So for both of us, it's going to be interesting but a very different experience. Let me just tell you about my experience at the General Conference. In the sessions, it is like being in heaven. That's what I compare it. Not because it is a panacea that everyone is like floating in clouds or whatever you think. No, it is because you meet so many people from around the world. One of the things that has been said is that we are no more than 3 people deep. That meaning that anyone that I meet knows somebody that knows somebody that I know. So that's how close we are. Even though we have grown throughout these 20 years that I've been coming to this session, but at the same time, we are close. So many times you find people that you haven't seen since you were in high school, since the academy years, and sometimes you know that you will never see them again until you see them in heaven. So it is a get-together that is a very special. I know that many of you are not able to be here, but we will try our best to bring that live to you. If you are not able to see it live, it's going to be recorded in the YouTube and also in Facebook, I believe, so you will be able to see it at your own time.
Yes, yes. And Mario, I grew up in this church, although this is my first time ever being at the General Conference. I grew up, and General Conference sessions are very important in my family. As I have shared with you, for example, my great-grandfather was ordained at the General Conference sessions.
Do you remember the year?
1935 in San Francisco, California, at Market Street Church. That was the place where they did that celebration. I actually had a chance to preach at that church once.
But not in 1934.
No, not in 1930. I wasn't even part of that. I wasn't even a plan of that. But now, one thing I always heard my parents talk about and my family talk about, I never had a chance to come to the General Conference, was that it was like this huge opportunity to meet up with people, to find people. Oh, it was so nice. It is so nice.
Even though you have been, is your first one, I know that as you walk around, you will see people that you have seen. You know, there are a lot of people that will come up to me and says, "You remember me?" Well, I don't remember everybody. And you know what? Many times I do remember their faces. I may remember, because that's the way I am. I may remember their faces. I may remember even the events and the countries that they are from, but I don't recall the names. So it is a little tricky for me. But it is very interesting as you meet people from all over the world and friends that you haven't seen before.
Yes, yes. Another experience for me this morning, going to registration. I found out, and you mentioned something about that earlier, I found out that we are all getting a backpack. And in that backpack, everything is about 2020.
Yes, everything is about 2020 because, as you know, we plan General Conference sessions 5 and 10 and 15 years in advance. So in the year 2019, we never knew that there was going to be a pandemic. So 2018, 2019, they ordered the packs. There are 2,700 delegates. So they ordered close to 3,000 or more backpacks for the Indianapolis 2020 session. But as we all know, pandemic hit. We all thought, I remember in my office when they called me and they said, building is going to be closed. In my mind, that was going to take maybe a week or 2 weeks, and then we'll all be back. But as we know, it took longer than that. So a lot of the materials and a lot of the logos are from Indianapolis 2020. But, one of the things that will be interesting is that I don't know how much of the 2022 logos will be there. You know, it's there in the app and other places, but we will not have a lot of those memories. So if you come across with something that says 2020, you better hang on to that.
But the other thing, there are some things that have the 2022 logo. For example, the program that is inside
The programs, yeah, and the app.
Inside the app is also that. By the way, anyone can download the app and be connected with us.
GC.
Yes.
Session.
Uh-huh.
You can put in the, whether it's the App Store or any place else, you go GC Session 2022. And by putting that you will see there on your screen, by just putting that, you will see, or that will come up, and then you can download the app. You can see everything. You can see the schedule.
Uh-huh.
You can even see the agenda with all of the different things that are going to be discussed.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, please download it so you know what's going on.
But not only that, Mario, there will also be virtual booths. And there's
Yes.
also an ACM virtual booth.
Yes. Mhm.
And there's also some research and some important things that are being shared.
Mm-hmm.
And there is an ACI poster that explains what CPE is about. So I ask you, please go check that out and send your questions in. Your questions will be sent to me or to someone in the team, and we will answer your questions to the best of our knowledge.
Yeah, one thing to keep in mind is this. General conferences are very important. Why? Because we will make decisions here, final decisions. We have already discussed them, and we are bringing them to the delegates. There will be decisions made that will affect everybody in the church. For example, there is a section where we will be deciding some changes with the church manual.
And by the way,
that
Mario, I
affects
was looking into that,
Uh-huh.
into the changes into the church manual. There is a whole section that the church manual is including that talks about the pastoral ministry. And that affects our chaplains because it defines ordination processes. It defines things that have to do with the ministry of the pastors, which chaplains are too. We
All
just happen
chaplains
to
are
be
pastors,
yeah, we
yes.
just happen to be outside of the boundaries of the church. But those decisions that will be taken regarding ministry are affecting the ministry of our chaplains.
And it affects everybody in the church. Also, some of the decisions that will be made is in changes to the Constitution, to the bylaws, to update them so that they will be more up to the practice of. Sometimes the practice gets ahead of the written documents. And one of those issues that are very, very important is that the whole general conference, the way we work has been based on having meetings presential. I knew these changes were coming before the pandemic. Why? Because we were getting too big. Some of you may say, why do we have these meetings in the United States only? It's because we don't have places around the world that can host 70,000 and more. That was the last general conference. And we have 2,700 delegates. So we are moving into a new world that people can help from all over the world. They can not only help, but they can participate. That's the word I was looking for. They can participate even though they are not here presential. They will be here virtual. So it is extremely important that you join us and that you be part of it. It will be on Zoom. It will be virtual. So there are a lot of things that have to take place. For example, this afternoon at 7, I'm part of a full rehearsal, full dress rehearsal, we call it, a rehearsal where I'm going to be acting like a delegate that only speaks Spanish, and then I will be asking questions. So we are practicing for all of that. We already had one practice not long ago in one of our fall meetings, and it is very complicated, and well, it will be very interesting. So I hope you will enjoy it. Again, if you cannot see it during the times that we are live, you can see it later. The schedule will be about the same every day with the exception of Friday. Friday will be a different schedule because we want to make sure that no business is conducted during the Sabbath hours anywhere in the world. So that is not easy to do. Saturday is going to be fantastic. Please don't miss it.
Yes, do not miss it. We're hoping to see you or to interact with you through our websites and through Facebook or YouTube. Thank you.
Yeah, and YouTube, they can even put messages, and we will be able to answer those.
We hope to connect with you.